Hello everyone, this is Frugal Panda here. Let's take a ride in Trinidad, Colorado on the Lectric XP Ebike. I took this trip this year, 2025, in the summertime. It was just a random trip. I just decided to come down here. I'd been a bunch of places. I was testing out a camper I had built and already taken off of off my truck. Anyway, Trinidad, population I think is around 8,000. Elevation 6,000. It runs along. I want to call it the Purgatory River. I didn't get a chance to stop and ask anybody what the correct way you pronounce it is. But anyway, it's in the description what it's called, what the river is. And it's dammed, and that's what makes the reservoir at Trinidad Lake State Park, which I did stop there and hang out for a little bit too, just to check it out, to take a recon of it, to check it out to see if it was going to be somewhere I'd want to camp. And I probably wouldn't mind camping there either, especially if I was on a road trip and I want to stop the night and maybe on my way somewhere else as well. What do I have to say about Trinidad? You can see my video where I walked around and got a bite to eat while I was here too. I like this little city. It is a city, has a Walmart and everything. All these years I've lived in Colorado, 30 years, and had never been to Trinidad besides to stop for gas or to stop at the Walmart to charge my car and stuff like that. This time I came down and I said, I'm going to check out Trinidad. And I had actually stayed here technically in the military like a very long time ago for a field problem. But when I was young, and two, we slept out in Pinyon Canyon area. So I can't tell you anything about this area, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm just riding around here. I'm carrying 2 batteries on my e-bike because I don't know anything about Trinidad, and it's a fairly large size city as well. So it's 8,000 people. It's not like just one road and that's it. So I wanted to make sure I didn't run out of power. I'm riding. I don't know where I'm going. I know I'm parked next to the river. I found some parking. Pulled out the bike, and the way I'm riding actually is going to dead end on me. So I'm ultimately going to end up turning around pretty quickly. That's another reason you carry 2 batteries, though this little ride I did right here to the end here didn't impact me any, to be honest with you. So that was cool. I figured it out and and turned back around, and I said, okay, if it dead ends one way along the river walk, it obviously has to not dead end that quickly going the other way, because I had driven into town before and I'd seen that, and that's why I wanted to come back and check it out and bring the e-bike. Very clean town. You can watch my video of me walking around and checking it out, but one of the main things I did see when I was here with it was it's very clean in downtown. They have a homeless population like any larger, bigger than a town. This is more like a small city, but it also lies along I-25. It's probably one of the largest cities along I-25 at the border of Colorado. It usually goes Denver or Fort Collins, Denver, and then Colorado Springs, and then Pueblo, and then the final city of any type of size is going to be actually Trinidad. So we're riding around. I'm going to ride through downtown. Their downtown is very clean, very nice. There was homeless people here, like I said. They weren't bothering anybody, but definitely a lot of it looked like addiction and mental health. Probably what came first, the addiction or the mental health, who knows. They were polite. They weren't bothering anybody. But then you didn't hardly see them, and I don't think I saw them in any of the downtown area where the historic, like where you could eat and shop, and the historic buildings were. I'm pretty sure I saw the police presence here in Trinidad, so I'm pretty sure they tell you can't do that down here, and they move them on, so they can't be hanging out there. But they do like to sit around, hang out around the river in certain parts of the river walk, usually towards where I was, which was the dead end of it. And a park. And something tells me the police will probably be clearing them out of the park. What I mean, they were just hanging out there during the day. They weren't like, there was no tent set up or anything like that. But it's pretty normal to see, homeless populations along river areas, honestly. But it wasn't bad here. Like I said, I'd come back. I wasn't irritated with it or anything like that. And so this is a longer video of mine as well. I usually don't make videos. I try not to make them more than 12 minutes, but this is probably going to be around 16, 17 minutes, I'm guessing. And I had a lot more footage than this, and I had to reduce it some. And the reason being is I've been kind of behind on my videos, even though I have a lot of them I put out. It's easy to get behind, especially when you're traveling a lot and you're going to check out stuff and you're recording everything. And before you know it, you got videos from this time, you got videos from that time, and you got to sit down. And I have a job. This is just a hobby. This just helps me get out and do more and check things out. And if people are interested, they'll check out my videos and give some ideas. I do this with other people too. I get ideas from other people like, oh, I went here. Well, let me go check that out. I like what I saw and I like what they said about that area, so let me check that out too. Even sometimes when people say, oh, I don't go here, I'll go to that place because I want to check it out. Example would be people say, oh, you don't want to go to Albuquerque, it's a waste of time, it's this and that. And I went to Albuquerque, I rode the Rio Grande. They had a different name for that, but it's basically the trail along the Rio Grande River. And it was awesome. I rode into downtown. I grabbed a bite to eat, and stuff like that. But if I'd listened to people, I would have never actually went there, But no, it was great. So I'm riding. I'm riding through downtown. What you're going to see in this video is, so I start riding in downtown and I'm cruising around because I wanted to check out some of the neighborhoods. And there's some super cute neighborhoods around downtown Trinidad, as you will see in this video. So I'm just rolling around here. I'm just checking it out. I'm probably in level 3. Most of my rides in level 3, a little bit of level 4 when I'm going through downtown. But like I said, this is a smaller town, smaller city. Mainstream, the traffic is not going 40 miles an hour. It's going around 25, 30 miles an hour. And there is a police presence. So I don't feel like, it's not like when I'm in Seattle. And you get some areas in like Seattle or Portland, you might want to put in a level 5, especially if they don't have the bike trails and stuff. That's something you might want to do. And that's what I recommend. But here, this was just a slow pace, just rolling, hanging out, having fun, enjoying time. Here, it was a good day. The weather was good. It wasn't too hot either. Even though it was sunny, it was pretty nice. I think it's probably in the 70s if I remember right. I'm checking it out. I'm riding on brick roads. I grew up on brick roads. I grew up partly in Indiana and partly in California, and I'd always go back to Indiana here and there, and I always remember the brick roads. And I always remember about them being on my bike when I was 14, and I had a Trek back when Treks were American made, and they were like really, really good bikes. And my front wheel came off and I slid face first down a brick road. I'm not joking. I still have a scar from it, and they had to come ambulance to come and get me. And yeah, and anyway, that's one of my fond memories. I don't know if it's really fond, but the memory I have of a brick road is sliding down face first when my front wheel came off. So anyway, we're riding around. Downtown is really lovely here. It's really chill. People are really nice. It's got that small town, I don't want to say rural, but like a country vibe in a way. And when I say country, don't take it in a disrespectful way or think it's something like that. No, it's a little bit on the rural countryside, and I'm not saying anything negative about it. I like it. I thought it was pretty chill here, walking around. People wave at you, talk to you. They had some cool thrift stores in downtown too, and all that. We're riding around, super clean in downtown. They have I can't remember if it's a Safeway or whatever. They have grocery stores here. They have a big old it was a super Walmart, I'm pretty sure. I've shopped there many times when my car was charging. So yeah, so we're basically, what I'm doing is checking out. And so what I was saying was, we're going to ride around downtown, which we're doing and stuff like that. And ultimately, we're going to end up on a trail that runs along this river that's literally in downtown too, along the river walk. So I got off the Riverwalk for a while, and I wanted to just ride around, check out the towns. I really like what I see, the downtown, in the neighborhoods. But then I was going to hop back on. I would end up connecting back up to the Riverwalk and then take it out and just ride it along it, and it ultimately turns into like a dirt trail and stuff. At first I was hesitant to ride on it, not because I didn't think my bike could ride on it, but I didn't want to be breaking rules. And sometimes when you have a dirt trail, they don't want you riding your bikes on it because it makes, it can damage the trails and makes it to where you got big old, when it rains and stuff, you can't walk along the trail because it's got puddles of water and stuff. But they had nothing like that. It didn't say anything like that with this one, so that was really cool. So we're about to go ahead and hop on that trail in a minute. I'm just riding around looking at these big old houses they have and all this stuff in downtown, and like I said, it's really chill here. I'm enjoying my time. I got my 2 batteries, so I ain't worried. I'm going to leave a link in the description for this new bike carrier, e-bike cargo bag I got that has a compartment for a spare battery. I think it's a game changer. It's by KEMIMOTO, so I'll leave a link in the description for this. I love it. So I can carry a second battery and you can't see it. It's in the bag. Yeah, it works really well, and I can have other stuff in the bag as well. The only thing I recommend with it is take the battery out when you're not using it, and the reason being, before you lift it into your car, put on something, because it makes the bike really heavy when you're carrying 2 batteries. And so if you're folding it up and going to put it away, remember to take the battery out. It takes a little less weight off of it, so it's easier to pick up if you're going to pick it up and fold it up and all that stuff. So anyway, I got 2 batteries with me. Here we go. We're getting ready to ride into this river walk. It was really nice. I picked the right day. There was hardly anybody out. I saw very few people. I saw a few people, probably like-minded people just like me. There wasn't a lot of people out here, and so we were all riding or walking along it, the few of us that I did see. And the homeless people, I was worried when I went to hop on it. I was like, how many homeless people are going to be along this river, you know, as I'm riding? But once I got past the park and stuff, there was none. I don't know if they clear them out, or it's away from, you know, like bathrooms and stuff like that. So, and then it turns into dirt. As you can see right here, it slowly turns into dirt. I'm just riding. I have no clue where I'm going. This right here, when I'm riding through here, sometimes when you travel a lot, or you've been a lot of places, or you just have fond memories of places, this reminds me of, I want to call it Bear Island in Leavenworth, Washington. Just something about it. I remember walking, and when I was riding through here, it reminded me when me and my son and my wife went there 2 years ago, and just walking to Bear Island, just checking it out. And ultimately we come to a big body of water, but something about it just reminded me of it. And a lot of folks, you guys know what I'm talking about. You get to certain areas like, oh man, that reminds me of here. And sometimes I talk to people about it, and you know, maybe even talk to my wife about it. Maybe she gets irritated. She says, yeah, it reminds you that, yeah. But it does, and I think sometimes it, you know, good memories of certain things that, you know, were maybe they're special. It is stuck with you, and I like building new memories because, you know, none of us are getting any younger, so it's good to have memories and to have things like that, and have things that work your brain and make you remember stuff. And so, yeah, now I'm kind of rolling. I'm probably going level 3 through here. This is a pretty steady area. I mean, pretty level bike path and walking path. There's no one around hardly either, so I'm not blasting past people. So, and when I would come up to somebody, I'm going to slow down and let them know I'm coming by. I'm not just going to blow by them at 30, you know, 25, 30 miles an hour on the trail. Don't be that guy. So as I'm riding, I was thinking about this. Back in the day when I first started really doing these videos, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, when I got an e-bike and really started recording them, I always remember riding these. You see people, oh, here's the bathroom. I would go to stop and find out it's locked. So that was disappointing, but you know, I think it's partly homeless population. They have to keep it locked and everything. But anyway, so we're riding around here and checking it out and stuff like that. It's real pretty, and there's way more trails than what I saw here, and way more. There's a lot. I could have rode a lot longer than I actually did this time. But anyway, I just wanted to ride around. There's some water here. Like I said, I saw very few people on this day when I was riding around here. Also, I have a new tire on the back and a new tube. My old tire was balding, so I ended up getting I got 2 new tubes, and ultimately I ended up changing the front tube. The front tire as well, because I got 2 of them. So I just put a brand new one on the front. I didn't have to, but I just did too. I went with 3-inch fat tires, just like was on before, no 4 inches. I thought about it for a minute. I said, just kill my range a little bit more, a little too. So I was like, nah, we'll leave that alone and just, you know, check it out and see how well these new cheap tires do. I'll leave a link in the description. They've been fine too. I'm gonna end this video here. I'm heading back. It was a good ride. Go check out Trinidad. Go check out Trinidad Lake State Park as well. Go get a bite to eat in downtown. Walk around. They got some cool thrift stores. I think it was great. It was an awesome thing to do on this day. Anyway, this is Frugal Panda. Everyone, get out there, explore, have some fun, enjoy your time. Bye.